Hey everyone, hope you're all doing well. My name is PJ and today I'll guide you around Mexico in your favourite F1 game. We'll be looking at each corner in detail so that you have some tips to use ahead of your next race. And as you can see already, we are on a very long straight, just open the DRS right there, very long straight down to turn 1. And despite this long straight, you will not necessarily be using a Monza-like setup around here, at least in my experience, because sectors 2 and 3 are more downforce heavy than Monza, so even with the long straight, you don't need to worry about it so much having low downforce. You want to have kind of medium downforce around here. But we're here on the entry to turn 1. It's a fairly wide entry with a fairly wide exit as well, which is good for the opening lap of the race, so you can be able to pick your braking spot. Whether you're on the inside or the outside, brake at 100 meters, that tends to be the best place to go. Just slam the brakes down at 100 meters, brake in a straight line, and then as you get towards the 50, then you turn in, you bring it down to third gear is what I like to do. Now this curb here is fairly interesting because you've got this standard red and white curb going around fairly flat, and then you've got a raised curb on the inside. And what I like to do here is, if I have lined up the car properly, what I will do is I will go over it like so. So I don't put a wheel on the red, but I try to put a wheel on the standard. But you might get tripped up with track limits with that kind of thing. And also, it's very risky if you get it wrong, because you could bump the car off the ground and potentially lose control unless you're at very low speed. Either way, third gear. And what I like to do through here is I like to hold third gear all the way through. So I'm not actually touching the gear shifts now, but I go through and then I release the throttle and then I go through here and then I avoid the curb on the inside, the big one. Now I'm still in third and I'm just rolling through with the throttle. I'm barely even touching the brakes at all here. And then again here, and by the time I get to this point, I'm starting to put more power in, because we've got another short straight coming up, and you want to short shift it up to fourth gear right here, right away. Bring it up so that you can put the power down on the exit. The curb on the left is fairly flat, you can go over that pretty easy. You got DRS right here, open it up. And now you're going to come down here, you're going to be either 7th or 8th gear. But either way, you're going to be full throttle all the way down here, and again, you brake at 100 meters for this very tricky complex here. So you brake at 100, brake in a straight line, okay? And now, as you do this, you bring it down to third gear, and then you turn in just after the 50-meter board. You turn in, and you want to turn in very tight. You want to turn in very tight. Make sure you just skim the big curb on the inside, like so. Now you're holding it in third. And much like the first 2 or 3 turns, you hold it in third, you bring it out, you release the throttle, potentially tap the brake once more, you keep it in third gear, and then you get again to here, avoid the big red curb, and now short shift it up to fourth. Now you can't exactly go full throttle yet, because the exit is very tight, because of the track limits. You can run out there because it's fairly flat, however there's potential to get a penalty, so I would avoid that. So you short shift it to fourth here, and you place your car pretty much here, although if you keep the whole car within the white lines, no big deal. You try to put a little bit more throttle in, but the straight there is so short that you probably won't even get to the top of fourth gear before you have to slow down again. And now you've got a double apex turn here. So I get back onto the racing line. Got a double apex turn here, and what I like to do here is run wide at the first apex, so that I can get a better line through the second one, which gives you better exit speed, which can gain you a couple of tenths. Very important. So what you do here is you're going to be in fourth gear. You're going to bring down the brakes just a little bit. You can shift down to third here, or you can keep it in fourth. Either or, not a big deal. And you do one consistent turn, like so. And then by the time you get here, you should be starting to put more power down. This is a common trait across all the corners in this circuit, because you're prioritizing your exit more than your entry. Short shift it up to 5th gear. And now you put the power down and use all of that momentum, and now you get into a more faster, flowy section. And my reference point for this My reference point is just under the Petronas sign up there, which is just before the 50 meter board. So as soon as I reach that, I hit the brakes. I hit the brakes from 7th gear down to 5th. Down to 5th, just a very short, you only want to brake for maybe, you know, a microsecond. It's like stab the brake, bring it down 2 gears into 5th gear, because you want to throw the car into this corner here. This is a very flat curb, go all the way over it. Carry the speed through to here, be very tight on the exit because you can very easily run wide and get a penalty here, and also ruin your flow for the next 3 corners, which is very important. But by the time you get here, you should be back on full throttle again, shift it up to 6th gear. Now you can stay like so, as long as you keep one wheel within the white line, very important. Now this sequence, you keep it in 6th gear. You can try, depending on your setup and your tyres and everything else, to take this at full throttle and this at full throttle. And here, I'm in 2 minds about whether you should be in 7th gear or 6th gear. 7th gear is better for stability, 6th gear is better for turning in. However, if you can nail it right, keep it in 6th, potentially, and keep the throttle pinned. You may, as you get to the transition here, you may want to have a slight lift just to ease the pressure on the rear end of the car before you turn to the left. Because what I find with some setups is that if you go from a fully loaded turning to the right and then fully reloading turn to the left, the back end of the car will snap on you and you'll easily spin it. That's something you need to watch out for, depending on your setup. Anyway, you're going to be in 6th gear through here. You put more power down, you try to keep it flat as best you can, use the curb on the inside, and now you've shifted up to 7th gear. If you haven't done so already, use all of the exit. As you can see, the curbs here are very flat, so you can run way wide, which is totally good. DRS is right there. Open that up while you're at it, and then you go full throttle all the way down into the stadium section, which is the most unique aspect of this circuit. And my braking point for this tends to be as soon as I reach this curb, which is just where the 100 meter board is, I will brake hard and brake in a straight line so that you maximize your braking performance. Bring it down. As you go past the 50, turn it in, watch out for the big curb on the inside. You're going to be in 3rd gear. You can short shift to 4th on exit, get a little squirt of speed in there, but make sure you get over as far to the right hand side as possible. That curb is pretty much flat. Bring it down to 3rd gear again. Just brake as you reach that curb, then turn it in. And much like every other slow corner on this circuit, you need to watch out for the big curbs on the inside. So you just keep it in 3rd, you roll it through here, you keep it through here, again also in 3rd, potentially shift up to 4th as soon as you reach the big red curb. And now you just straight line it here, and then a very short tap of the brakes. A very short tap of the brakes before you turn right. So as you cross under the gantry, you massage the brakes just a little bit, bring it down, keep it in 4th gear, and avoid the big curb on the inside. And now by the time you are at this point, which is just before the apex of the corner, start putting down the power, because you need to feed the car out and get as much exit speed as possible, because you've got that massive straight coming up. So I'm here in 4th gear, and I like to put the power down now and then shift up to 5th. Now I'm not full throttle yet because I need to maintain sideways momentum. I need to be able to turn the car to avoid the wall. So maintain your momentum, and then as it straightens out like so, now you can put the power down. You blast out onto the straight, and that is a lap of Mexico. So let's go for a hot lap. Here we go then for a flying lap of Mexico. Make sure you get a good exit out of the final turn to begin the lap. And then you end up over here on the left hand side. Open your DRS. Pick out your braking point. You're going to be looking for the 100 meter board at turn 1. Watch the curb, stay in 3rd gear. Stay in 3rd. Now 4th. Now put more power down, which is good. Open DRS. Gotta do the same here. 3rd gear, avoid the big red curb, just use the small ones. Hold it in 3rd, now bring it up to 4th a bit. Very light tap of the brakes, miss the first apex in order to nail the second one. Now down to 5th and then turn in. Now you put the power down, you keep it in 6th. If you need to lift off the throttle just to steer the car, do that. But it's possible with the right setup and conditions to take that flat out. Brake here at 100. Down to 3rd. Quickly up to 4th and then down to 3rd again. And now 4th once more, and then stay very wide and then turn in. And then focus on your exit. That's a good exit to complete a lap of Mexico. Now that you know your way around Mexico, why not try out some other videos on my channel? You can find 2 on screen now. In the meantime, thanks for watching and for liking the video, and I wish you the best of luck in your next race.